Hello, everyone, and welcome to our channel. Welcome to my channel and our channels. We are very happy to have you. We know that people are watching from Diaspora Doodles, Omomi's channel, and Onyo and Chris channel. So thank you so much for coming to join us this evening. As teachers, I know last week we rambled on a little, but today we're going to be keeping to time and we're going to make it 1 hour so that we can do this regularly. Today's topic is on CVs, or as some people will call it, resumes. A resume is a crucial part of a teacher's teaching life, a teacher's teaching career, a teacher's teaching introduction into teaching, whatever you call it. A CV, a resume is your initial introduction to a prospective school or a prospective employer or just recruiters in general. A few weeks ago, or a few months ago, I shared a CV with people who I mentor and people on my WhatsApp group and my Telegram group. And I realized that I must have taken a huge step in just showing them that CV. So this is my way of trying to walk back over what I did and sort of show people a breakdown of how to get a fantastic CV. Now, I can't do this on my own, just like in teaching. No teachers on her own. I've got here amazing teachers who are going to be joining me this evening, and they're going to be giving me their 2 cents on what a good CV is. Just before we turned on this live, we were talking about our own different CVs. And in our discussions, we noticed that there are areas of improvement on even our own CVs. That means that there's always room for improvement. And I hope that this evening, everyone's going to get that little bit of room for improvement with their CVs. We're going to try and make it as interactive as possible. We're going to put on a CV on here, and then we're going to show you another CV, and then maybe we might have a little bit of a session where everyone needs to go through the CV and sort of type down what they think that should be on that CV or what they think should be removed from that CV. Okay? Before we start, I'm going to let my co-moderators introduce themselves. And we're going to start with Omomi.
Hey guys, you're welcome back to another episode of Teaching Abroad. So in today's video, we're talking about life CV, yes, CV clinic. My name is Omowumi, and I'm a supply teacher in the UK.
Thank you, Omomi, and thank you for being here today. Oyin, do you want to introduce yourself again? I know they know you, but it's always good because when we have new people, it's always good to introduce ourselves so people know that we're not just strangers talking things that we don't know about.
Hello, everyone. My name is Onyinye Anikwe. I am a teacher as well. I've been teaching for 14 years, and I have both the US and UK teaching licenses. I have a YouTube channel as well, Oni.Anikwe, and I am so excited to be here to interact with everyone.
Thank you for being here. Now, before we show the first CV, do you guys want to tell us what you look for in a good CV? Omomi, do you want to start?
Yes. Thank you for granting me the opportunity to be here once again. Like few weeks back, I was opportune to like review a lot of CV because I was a middle person between Engage Education and those trying to get into teaching in the UK. So I was opportune to get a lot of CVs. And I would say, even for me, that I'm not a recruiter, when I check through some CVs, I know this is nah. And when I see some, I will give a thumbs up and I will say, yes, this is a good one. So I would say to start, your professional summary, apart from the personal information in which we are still going to talk about later in the video, what should be there and what should not be in your personal information. I would say your professional summary should be a very good one, must be very attractive. while doing this role of the few weeks back, I had to check a lot of CV, in which I know this recruiter also gets a lot of CV. And I would say your professional summary will tell if they are going to read through your summary, if they are going to read through your CV, or they will just stop at the professional summary and then they will just like move to the next one. So your professional summary should captivate their attention when they read. Yeah. It should tell them, okay, yes, this is what we want. Let us read through. Let's see his work experience. But if your professional summary, some people call it profile, some call it I don't know which other word, but I call it professional summary. If it doesn't captivate the recruiter, then no. So your professional summary has to be a very good one. And it has steps in which we are still going to talk about during this live session.
Fantastic. Onyi, do you have something to add to that?
Yeah, for me, I think that your CV is the first thing an employer sees before they actually get to meet with you. So just like personally, I wouldn't say I'm picky about food, but I always tell some of my friends that my eyes get to eat first before I actually then, dive into the meal. When it comes to CV, the first thing that gets me is your formatting, right? So how are your fonts? What does the color look like? That's the first thing for me before I even begin to look at your personal statement. Looking at the formatting and everything could be a turn off, and then that's where it all ends. But say you move through that first phase, the next thing would be to look at your personal statement. Now, you're supposed to tell me about yourself in a few sentences. So it means you should put in a lot of effort into that first part. Because then, if you're not telling, like, what is it that sets you apart from every other person? I mean, why should I even go further to look at your CV? So that personal statement should be concise and should be able to tell in 3 to 4 sentences about yourself. So those are the two things for me: the formatting of the CV, the personal statement. Then I would then consider going down to read every other thing.
I like the 2 points that you two have raised, and I think that's the same thing for me. So I'm not going to go over what you both said. We're just going to dive into this. Now, for those who are already here, and for those who will be watching this later on, we're going to put a CV sample online. Now, this CV is nobody's CV. I sat down and I constructed this CV from all the different things that I've seen on different CVs that I've been opportune to look at. So please, if you think that this looks like your CV, trust me, it's not just your CV. It's me putting different things together. So disclaimer off, disclaimer done, and where I'm going to put the first CV on the stage now. Woo! First things first. Okay, have a look at. We're just going to give you like a minute to look at that CV if you're already online now and see if you find anything about this CV that you like. If you see anything about this CV that you feel comes up and speaks to you, and you can just pop your comments down below what you think about this CV. I'm going to add my comments too, just to make it more, interactive. I'm going to say it looks beautiful. It looks beautiful. Onion, Amomi, what do you think? First glance. Don't look at it as a professional now. Look at it as if you're just the first glance. I can see someone said, I'm going to put that on the screen. Someone said pictures. Wow, I like that. Why do you think? What can you just pop your comment down below? Why do you think we should not need pictures on a CV? Happy Sunday, Chia Jose. And what we are doing right now is we're looking at the CV on screen and we're trying to think about what we feel about the CV. So just pop your comment down below when you join us, and we'll just carry on from there. Now, I've tried to explain this to as many people as possible, and I'm going to take this opportunity to explain it now. Yes, Norma, pictures create bias. In a world where people are
Mm-hmm.
still growing, people have not reached that point where you don't, just like Oyin said, she looks at a CV with her eyes. And when she eats it with her eyes first before she eats it with her mouth. Now, whoever looks at this CV, the first thing you're going to come to your mind is the ethnicity of the person in the picture. And you start thinking about all the different things you've heard about that ethnicity instead of concentrating on the CV itself. See, immediately you just think, oh, and you start thinking about you leave the person's qualifications, you leave the person's experiences, you leave the person's accomplishments, and you just focus on the person's face. Ladies, help me.
Yeah.
Mommy, do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, the picture, just like was said, already said in the comment section, the picture is a no-no. Yes, that is no. Your picture shouldn't be there on the CV because, like the lady said, is going to probably be, it will create a bias. Yes, the person might just, you don't know the recruiter checking your CV, and the person will just see your picture and say, no, I'm not taking this. I will just skip and move on. Yes, I would not even check your qualification. Would not even check if you are capable. Would not even check if you have the qualities they want. But the picture already on the CV would put you off. So the picture number one is a no.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another thing I would like to talk about is this right or right beneath the picture, right? There's
Yes.
so much information there. Okay, before we even go into that, I feel like there's a
Exactly.
lot of inconsistency with the line spacing, um,
The font,
fonts, even the bullets. There's quite a lot of inconsistency in the career objective, in the what's it called? Yes, the line spacing is not the same. That's another thing I want to point out. And then we have some things in capital that shouldn't be in capital as well. Then this part about ethnic group, I don't know if it's an international school you're applying to, SOSA is applying to. I wonder why he needs the recruiter to know he's a Yoruba person or he's from Lokoja in Lokoja local government. And he has 6 children as well. So all this information I think are not necessary for a C.
Necessary
Yeah.
at all, especially if it's an international CV. You're
Mm,
we Most international schools are either British, American, Canadian, Australian, because
yeah.
these
Right.
schools were set
German.
up for either military personnel that are posted to all these different countries or embassies. Now, because
Overseas.
those schools have been set up with those curriculum or curricula in mind, you want to show them that you can do this job, even if you're applying to a school in a country. For instance, you're going to Egypt or you're going to Oman. I'm coming up with names of places that I have been. You don't. What does Yoruba have to do with Oman? Nothing, unless you can speak Arabic. I will not put anything like that on there. That's personal, and this is a professional document. So you want to project everything professional. You want to direct the person's eye to a certain, you almost want to, that thing they put on horses when you want them to go in a certain
Yeah.
direction. It's called blinkers. You want to put blinkers on the recruiter so that the person only looks at what you want them to see. When you put all these things, you're trying to tell them, oh, look, I even have a cat and a dog. I have chickens too. It's not professional. It has nothing to do with the job. So Onion has already started us off. We're still talking about the pictures, but it's nice that we've jumped to that part because that is not necessary at all. When I crafted this CV, I thought about all the mistakes I've seen in all the different CVs that I've been opportune to view. And I thought, okay, I'll put that in, because sometimes the grammar is just inconsistent and the commas are in the wrong places. You're going to be a teacher. Part of your job is that you're going to be teaching children. If the children understand the grammar more than you understand the grammar, then you have no business teaching those children. So we
Yeah,
have to be very mindful.
yeah, talking about grammar, actually, in 2024, at this point, everyone should have um, things like Grammarly and all that installed in your device. This is just to help you check, because sometimes when you're typing, you could omit, even if you know how to spell a word correctly, you could sometimes omit in the course of typing. I mean, you're human, but then these things help you check those errors, so they underline it, and then you know that once you see that red line, you need to check, right? So at this point, everyone should, I know Grammarly is the most common one, right? There are other ones,
Yes.
but yeah, you should have Grammarly, like spelling checkers, I think that's what they're called. That should be
Yeah.
installed in everyone's app at this point. They are even the ones for phones, so if it's your phone you're using, you can still have those spelling or grammar checkers installed in your device to help you of mistakes.
So the next thing we're going to be looking at is I don't know how you guys feel about that career objective. Career objective for what? You're already applying to a teaching job. That's your career objective. I like to put it as professional statement. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I agree with you. The
Or
title should, yeah, I have it as professional statement on my own CV. So I think that's a better thing to put on there rather than career. I mean, your objective, your goal is to be a teacher, best teacher you can
exactly,
be. So narrow
exactly,
it down. In being a teacher, what more? What's that thing, that personal touch you're bringing? Why we should, hire you for this role? What sets you apart from the other person or other people who have applied for this role? That's what you're putting there. So yeah, that career objective should also not be career objective.
exactly. I'm going to quickly look at the people who are online and just show what they're saying on the screen. Chidozie said, "Happy Sunday to you, beautiful ladies. Thank you very much." Prosperity said, "The picture should not be there. Thank you." Onyi said, "It's too colorful. Pictures create a bias." Bolali says, "Pictures are not necessary as well." Chidozie says, "I've never seen a CV with a picture."
Tons of them. Tons of them.
Sometimes I see pictures that I'm thinking it's not even clear. You've not used the best, it's not even a studio. You're already creating bias by putting your picture. They can see the color of your skin, they can see everything and judge you based on that. And then you're even not putting a picture that is studio worthy. I mean, please, I mean, I've seen too many, and that's why we have this today. Mommy says she has seen a few. Okay, this one. In my opinion, I don't think you have to include details about your marital status or information about whether you have family or not. However, if you think you can, you can if you think your status will make your app. No. Children, personal. Children, personal. I know what you mean, and I will explain. When I go to interviews, I do talk about my children because when I go to interviews, because I'm usually interviewing for an international school, and the school has to provide visas not just for me but for my dependents as well. So yes, you can talk about it, or you can find a way to bring it into the conversation so that the school knows that, oh, this teacher has a 17-year-old child. Our school is only up to maybe GCSEs, which is 16. So your child cannot come to this school. So they can tell from there if this teacher will fit into this school, because they won't hire you if you have a 17-year-old, because you'll be in the classroom, your child will be at home. So yes, you can bring it in, but on your CV, hmm, no, 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 I don't think so. But yeah, thank you for your contribution. I understand what you mean. Um,
It, sh- it shouldn't be on the CV at all.
I,
It
I
shouldn't.
understand what you mean, Gideon. Yeah. You would I don't put my children on my CV at all until I get to the interview stage, and then I tell them, they'll ask how many dependents do you have, and then I will bring it up. Or maybe I say something like, oh, my child is in key stage 3, so I have a personal experience with the key stage 3 curriculum, but then I bring it back to the interview. I'm just trying to put that into, when you use the star or the peel, where you talk about the situation, the task, the achievement, and everything you take away from there. I might segue that in, but no, I will not bring it out on my CV at all. Now I'm going to let Naomi talk about the next segment. We've talked about the career objective. Do we want to add anything about that career objective? Because I can still see a few things there that hold on, let me take this off the screen first. Um,
Um,
okay, and then we can go to the we can go back to that career objective slide, or you want to say something about the trainings?
yeah, for the career objective, I was just looking at it now and I'm wondering, does this really look like it's tailored to the role of a teacher? I see
No, it
health
doesn't.
care, quality health care. This person is applying for the role of a teacher. So let's even say this person has been in the healthcare sector. There are lots of transferable skills they can get from being in the healthcare sector. So, how about talking about those skills specifically? So, say you're applying for the role of a primary school teacher.
And
So,
exactly, yeah,
what are the qualities required for a primary school teacher? Okay, you're able to differentiate instruction, right? You're able to manage your classroom. Those are the keywords. Read the
Mm-hmm.
application, read the role. So read the
Yes.
particular application that you role you're applying for. What's written out as the qualities they expect for the teacher.
yeah.
Then pick out the keywords. You're not very sure. Read it, pick out the keywords. Then think about how your skills that you have acquired in the past applies to this role. Then use that in creating a concise, you're writing 3 to 4 sentences that summarizes what you can bring to the table, right? Rather than putting things like, I see great work-life balance. I mean, this is career development and great work, a place where I can optimize shared skills to satisfy. So this is not a good personal statement for a teaching role.
Mm.
Mommy, do you want to add something to it?
Yes. Yes. For the career objective, the spacing one is 0. The like Oyin said, this is not even tailored to teaching at all. This is like he's saying quality healthcare delivery while also being able to lead an enjoyable. I'm sorry, an enjoyable personal and family life. No. So this is not even related to teaching whatsoever. And the spacing is 0. Yes, it is 0. And on this CV, there is, for me, I've not seen any professional summary at all. I've not seen any professional summary whereby the person has given like a brief detail information
Of your
about his professional summary, what he has done. So I've not seen that, and this career objective is 0. The trainings. The first thing I'll talk about these trainings is I can see 2017 special needs education workshop, and we are in 2024. The date is outdated, it's too far. I can see 2014 Cambridge Professional Development Workshop Certificates. These 2 dates are too far. At least you should have trainings in 2024. as they are in 2024. So these trainings should have been updated, and it should have probably done more CPDs and trainings to have this. So this is what I have to say about the career objective and trainings.
For the
Yeah,
career objective, sorry, Oyin, go on.
yeah. I just thought to add something. I know that sometimes we have in mind to be able to present our CVs a certain way, maybe to sound very professional, you know. So, and then sometimes it could be difficult to find the words to, put everything you have in your head down on paper. One thing I know a lot of people leverage now in different industries is AI apps, right? A lot
AI.
of people these days are using Chat GPT, but the problem is a lot of people are also not maximizing it. They're not using it well, right? So if you see a CV that has been written by Chat GPT, it's easy to
You would
actually know
know.
this thing was written by Chat
You would
GPT.
know.
So for personal statement, the key. First of all, understand the key things that should be in your personal statement. Your experience should be on there, like a summary of what you've done, a summary of what you're bringing to the table. If you have teaching experience, if you have care experience, you've worked in this, but how is this care experience transferable? Now go on to ChatGPT, and then it depends on what you're asking ChatGPT. Tell that ChatGPT to help you write a personal statement for somebody who has been in the care sector, you know, transitioning to teaching. Then sit down and think about you, right? Because that is the personal touch most people forget to add. Writing everything, write it anyhow you can speak the English. Just put it in there. I worked with this person. I helped the children to be able to pass and write their exams. In bracket, you could say, give a phrase that defines this. Depending on what you write for ChatGPT, if you can tailor that, that your input into the app properly, then it can give you something that you can now edit, tweak here and there to be able to get. You could even go to the details of saying 3 sentences or 4 sentences, and you look at it, it's more than 4 sentences. Ask chat, is this 4 sentences? Pam, chat to apologize and then give you 4 sentences. So we
Exactly.
should we should be leveraging on things that can actually help us, rather than, because I mean, imagine an international school having like 10 or 5 or even 3 Nigerians sending in applications and their CVs are looking like this.
They
I
will
mean,
just remove
for the
Nigerians from their list.
exactly, they're not even going to bother, and then you realize that you're spoiling the opportunity for other people. So we just have to sit up and then try to begin to read and take advantage of the opportunities that, like this platform now, share it with your friends, share it to other teachers, other colleagues, and let's educate ourselves, help one another.
Yeah. Yeah. I wanted to talk about the grammar. I purposely put the grammar that way in the career objective, which should everyone knows now that it should be a professional summary. To be an essential member of organization, where is the article there? To be an essential member of an organization, these little things go a long way. And like she said, use ChatGPT. If sometimes I find ChatGPT will give you very mechanical sentences. There's another one, Gemini. There's Humanize. There's, in fact, I think I have like 4 or 5 that I can just rattle off from the top of my head. You can use them. Look, when you start using them before you even start working at these schools, when it's time for report writing,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
come in very handy when you're writing reports, because reports in the diaspora are usually personalized for each child. I remember that someone told me that in Nigeria they just write 3 reports and then they just share it for whichever child fits into that report. And I almost fell off my chair because I thought, why? There's nothing personalized about that, you know. Here, when reports are sent to the head of department to vet before they are sent out to parents, because of course they will be vetted, because parents should have a professional way of looking at the school. So we sort of make sure whatever is leaving, every journal, every letter, everything going out from the school is vetted properly. Now, if you're going to send reports out, head of department is the one that will take they're the ones that will take the coconut at the end of the day. So they will vet your report. And if two children's reports look the same, you will be asked to do it again. So why don't you try to start using humanized chat GPT, and like Onye said, give it the key things you want it to say. Do you guys, I digress, but do you know that there's this new one now that you speak into it and it will help you it will help you
Speech
assess
text.
the progress.
Yes.
I used it and I was like, hey, Father in heaven, where have I been sitting since? You know what? In one lunchtime, I finished 60 reports. I was so happy with myself because I could listen to it and it read it back to me, and I was so happy. Normally, I would take it home. I'll tell my children, don't talk to me today. I'm doing reports.
Oh my goodness, report cards can be something else. Honestly, I think why in Nigeria they're able to do that is because they just grade. I remember when I was teaching, just grade math A B. Then at the bottom, that's where you have like three or
Just
four
one
lines.
sentence.
Right. Unlike in international schools where you have to talk about each, like
Each
make comments
subject.
on each subject, right?
Each
You need to make
subject.
comments. And of course, you've been taking notes and they understand where the child is coming from. You need to tell them what you've done to bring that child from there to.
Exactly. Data-driven assessments. You
I'm telling
cannot.
you, report
You
card
can.
is.
You have to prove why that child got that. You have to bring out all the assessments. You have to bring out all the observational notes. You have to bring out everything. And do you guys do the ones in your school where you have to take two pieces of evidence of what the child
Yes,
has done
yes,
to show that the child has met that objective? Do you know
objective.
how many objectives there are in just one subject for one
Yeah,
year group?
it is
Okay, let's
good.
carry on
That's
before we talk about assessment. We
another
have to do a live assessment
another day.
separately. We have to do. We've talked about languages spoken and the fact that. Or am I jumping it? I think I've jumped to another place. Mommy has talked about the trainings. We have to have updated. You cannot be in education and be putting a 2017 training on your TV. You look like a dinosaur. You have to make sure that you have 2024 and even 2024, guys. It's not one. No.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
one. It's not my school.
There are actually lots of free trainings online, unlike before where you have to, pay for things. And some of them are
Yeah.
3 4 hours, some even less. Just watch it, put it there, and move on.
I
Once a
used to
week.
cheat. I used to do the 8 hour one because I would do the 8 hour one and I'll do only three. Because when I do
Three.
those 3 8 hour one, I would say,
You-
look, I've done a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
That is
So
minus the safeguarding that we do every year, minus the um, GDPR, minus the health and safety, minus all those ones that are compulsory for everybody. You still have to do subject specific ones to show that your subject, you're not being obsolete in your subject. You know what is happening all around the world, especially anytime Finland does anything. Schools just go crazy. Like, Finland is doing this. Scandinavian countries are doing this. Okay, everybody, training quickly. So, yeah, we have to move forward, guys. So, we have to keep
this part, I was just. Oh, sorry. I thought you were referring to we moving forward in this thing. This
no,
part
no, no.
where
I'm
you have
saying teachers should move forward.
teachers,
Yeah.
yeah. Sosa Damilola Ademi Adamu under the name I see
Yes.
T. I'm wondering,
Teacher.
wouldn't it be helpful if you're maybe a key stage one teacher, you put it as key stage one teacher. If you're a physics teacher,
Yes.
put it as a physics teacher. So then we know what a
Yes.
teacher is just too general. Teacher, what are you teaching?
And if
Igbo.
maybe this person,
Exactly.
because I saw a lot of CVs with this, and I thought, okay, maybe if the person wants to put it there, teacher, if it's not specific, it's already a teaching CV with every other thing. You don't. have to put that there. Just leave it. Put your name and remove the state of origin, marital status, everything, and then just jump to it. First of all, what do you think about the layout? Mhm.
Mm,
I don't like the layout.
I don't like it, honestly.
I've seen a lot of CVs where the layout is just, it's like they're trying to follow that thing where they say a CV should not be more than one page.
Yeah, I
So
think that's the
instead of,
reason. And if you go on Google, you know that part where you have when you open a blank Google document, the top part where you have samples where you can pick from, right?
yes.
These are the kind of things you would see stuff like this here,
That's
just
not,
because the idea of compressing the CV into 1 or 2 pages, I think is the reason why most people go
but
with
don't
this.
you think we shoot ourselves in the foot if we do it like this? It might be
Yeah,
good for advertising, it might be good for a graphics design, it might be good. Do you know what? I even wanted to put flowers on the CV. I wanted to put flowers, I wanted to put, because I've seen CVs like that. There's flowers, there's colors, there's this, there's that. My my line manager is colorblind. And every time he sees a CV that has blue and yellow on it, he can't see anything on the CV.
oh
So
dear.
what does he do? He
You
removes
don't.
it and puts it aside. He dumps it. He dumps it because in his head he can't see it, and he has to go through 2,000 CVs. He's not going to say, "Ah, let me keep this one aside and show it to somebody." No, no, no. He's not going to do that. I can't see it. Away. This person is a teacher. How would you teach children in the classroom who are colorblind if you cannot understand that you shouldn't use colorblind fonts or colorblind paper or colorblind? Oh,
Yeah,
I don't
and
know.
I think
Under his
the
personal
personal
statements,
statement
under his
actually.
personal, okay,
Okay. Go
under
ahead.
the
Go ahead.
details, okay, I can see NI number,
Yeah,
passport
NI,
number,
NIN, national,
NI
national
number,
identification number. Yeah.
education number. I, I don't think they need that for anything whatsoever. Passport number, they don't need your passport number at all. Even if the school after that will be not in your CV, that will be probably after your interview and you're doing some processing, even if they will ask for your passport data page. So passport number is not needed. Number of children, okay, we've talked about that. And someone
The only,
asked before we move on, someone is asking a question, and I think we should answer so that we don't skip.
let me
Someone
put
is
it
saying,
there.
can private tutor be, can you also put private tutoring experience on your CV?
Oh, sorry. Let me change it. Let me
Okay,
change it
your
to
fashion
that.
experience. Okay. Yes, we can talk about this too, then we talk about, because this is related.
Okay. Okay. You say, can you include your fashion designing experience? You can include anything on a CV as long as you can link it to the job. If you can link it to the job you are doing, if you cannot find anything to link it to the job you are doing, please don't put it on. Please don't put it on. If you what is in fashion designing that you want to link, that you are a math person, that you know how to measure, I'm sure you can evidence your ability to measure from somewhere else. But I think I understand why the person is saying that, because sometimes you don't want gaps in your CV. So you have to show evidence that you were busy doing something at a particular time. Maybe you were not
Mm,
teaching, you were doing fashion designing. That's fine. But maybe leave it as 2 bullet points, just two. It was from September 2011 to September 2012, fashion designing. You don't have to list out all the skills of a fashion designer. You just want to show I was not
mm,
sitting down on suspension. I was not being reprimanded because I did something to a child. No, 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 no. I was actually doing something on maternity. But don't put 20 bullet points. 2 bullet points. Finish. It doesn't, and look for what links to teaching. If it doesn't link to teaching, find it. Attention to detail, customer satisfaction, ability to relate one on one, because you relate with
One,
parents. So you can, yes, so
mhm.
you can put it there, but don't dwell on it. Don't make it seem as if this is the one and only job on my CV. Mention it. Put 2 things there that relate to teaching. Move on. That's what I would say, so that they
and I've
don't come
also
and hold.
Okay. And I've also noticed that some people try to use one CV for all the jobs they're applying for.
Everything.
Every job they're applying for, all everything. They use like one CV to apply for that. And that is not right. For example, for me, I have like three CVs on my channel. Some of my subscribers will know I've worked in a factory. I have it. If I'm going to factory today, even though I'm not going back, I have a CV for that. If I'm
Yes,
applying for a caregiving job, in which I've worked in a mental health care home, I have a CV for that
exactly.
separate, and I have my teaching CV. So don't use one CV for like four different kind of jobs, whereby your professional summary is having a carer objective, is mixed up with teaching, is mixed up with working in a factory, is mixed up with fashion designing and all that. So you can separate and have different CV for different careers.
That
Yeah,
brings me to the question. Sorry, Oyin, go on. Go on,
aside
Oyin.
from having different CVs for different careers, for every single job you're applying for, you're supposed to tweak your CV for
Taylor.
that particular role,
Exactly.
because they
Mm.
are going to give you the job specification or description or whatever. That's a document you can work with. Some companies have this tracking system that they use to track the CV. I think they call it ATS, also application tracking.
ATS.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you need to read through that document that the employer has, given you. They're giving you that for a reason. Look at the keywords there and see how you can bring it into that
Your
particular,
own CV.
yes, your own CV. Because for some schools, maybe it's classroom management that is a big deal. Some other schools will tell you that they are focused on safeguarding. Like some will tell you that each
Yeah.
child's view, opinion counts, and they want learning to be fun and engaging for the kids. So those are the things
Yeah.
you're looking out for, and then you're tailoring your CV to have these, keywords that they are looking for. So not just tailoring your CV for different jobs, but for each application you're doing. And that is why when people say they do 20 applications in a day, I wonder how they do it. It's not about the numbers, but it's about
Exactly.
the
Yeah.
quality of what you're sending out there. If you're able to send out two quality CVs a day,
Mm.
pat yourself at the back and move on. Get ready for the next day. Be focused on giving out quality and not quantity when it comes to CVs.
When I first started teaching abroad, I remember I must have sent out 300 applications in that recruitment cycle. And today, when I was trying to come up with this CV, I went back because it's the same email that I had, I use my email. And I went back to my email and I tried to dig up some of those applications because it was saved there. My goodness, I had a face palm moment because I looked at it and I thought, oh, I've never really come back here. It's like a dungeon that I've thrown all those things because it's past 20 years ago. Oh my God, some of those applications were atrocious. They were horrible, horrible. I was like, no wonder they didn't hire me. Jeez, I won't hire this person. I will not hire this person because do you know what? My CV actually took off after I worked in the UK. When I worked with that deputy head teacher who actually sat me down. She looked at my CV. I'm sure she said, "Oh, somebody hold me." Then we sat down. She said, "Bring out what have you done? You've done care. You've done this," and she tailored the CV. And even I was surprised because it was suddenly as if I don't know, I can't recognize this person. But that was what got me the jobs that now took me to where I am today. And I thought, oh, yeah, I worked with a recruiter before then, and she told me your passport. But I'm sure it was not just the passport. The woman was just tired. She didn't know where to start from. She really didn't know where to start from. Um, okay, my question is this: what should I throw this to everyone? I think I'll throw this to the audience. So instead, you tailor your CV to each role. And Naomi said that you actually have different CVs for different jobs. So if we look at that CV there, this is where your question should come from. I hope everyone who is looking at it. If you look at the person's CV from September 2012 to July 2013, actually to November 2013. The person was working 2 jobs, how would you represent that on your CV? Would you put both of them? Mhm. Type in the comments below what you think. What do you think? Do you think the person should put the 2 jobs on that CV, or do you think that since the person is applying for a teaching role, one of those jobs was not necessary? I don't know if you can see where I'm talking about. I'm talking about the experience now, work experience,
Yeah.
from where the person was an office assistant from September 2012 to November 2013. At the same time, the person was a care assistant at Beautiful Care Home, Abuja, Nigeria, from September. Is it?
I don't think that's the same
Um,
CV I'm seeing. No,
It's not
I'm not
on
mixing
this.
it up.
I think you should
we
scroll up
can't
or
see it on the
something.
screen.
Oh,
We're
okay,
still seeing the first page.
Or scroll.
okay. So if you guys, if the person has a job, 2 jobs at the same time, and the person is applying for a teaching role, yeah, do you think it's necessary to put the 2 jobs there?
Just pick the one that applies to the job you're applying, the role you're applying for. If you have a care CV, you can toss that one there. But for that particular teaching role, that's what the employer is interested in. They're not interested in whether you did care or whatever. So I would say pick the one that applies to that role that you're going for at that moment. Yeah.
Time. Golden said it's not necessary at all. Happiness says the person should put the job related to the teaching role. Fantastic. CV related to the teaching role will be okay. Now, there's a question here. Can you add private home tutoring to your CV? I think that was what Mommy was trying to talk about.
Yes, yes.
I will put it there because it relates to teaching. But you have to tailor it in such a way that you actually put in the things that are relevant. Because to be honest, nobody's supervising you. You could be doing anything for you can be taking the children sightseeing every day. You will not put it on your CV that you are sightseeing every day. You will actually use English to wrap it, like educational visits, linked to your topic that you were doing. You won't just say, we went out, we went sightseeing. I think that's the way I would put it. Who else?
Yeah.
Private tutoring, COVID. Somebody said, can you, I think if the post is creative art, I think design colors are necessary. Yes, that's true. I think that's the question that answers the part where it says if the CV is too beautiful. If it's creative art, yes, but this is teaching. Today we're doing CV clinic for teaching. So we're trying to tailor our answers towards teaching. So
I
I
think the
don't think
person
it to
means
be
an art teacher. If it's an art teacher, I think that's what the person is saying. If the role is for the role of an art teacher, right?
right. I
Yeah, I think
would
so.
not, like
I
I
would
said,
say,
yeah, go on.
okay. Even if
More.
it's a creative art teacher, I would say you don't have to make your CV so colorful with flowers, like Jay said the other time, just to let them know you have the ability to do creativity. No, you just no. You will show that in your interview or your or when you're letting them know what you are capable of. That's for later. That's when you can show your skills, not on the CV with colors and everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a question I
Someone said,
think. Okay.
yeah, so can you post
Okay.
links to
Oye, can you
free
post
trainings
it
you
to the
mentioned?
free?
Yes, well, I think the best thing is to leave it to the end of this, to post it in the description of this live when we upload it. But we said it in the last live. Allison is one, Future Learn is
Yeah.
one. So you might want to watch that last live for you to understand a few things we're talking about today. It's on any one of our channels. We post it simultaneously to all 3 channels. So you will find it on any channel you click on. It's on our mommy's channel, it's on my channel, it's on Onyi's channel. Even though Oni's channel has beauty queen status too, so you just sit through it. Someone said here, wow, report is really a serious matter in international teaching. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, because that report is meant to be. Look, let me give you an example. During COVID, children couldn't go and write exams, so they sat down and looked at all their reports over the years, and they gave them predicted scores. And those predicted scores was what they now use to get into university. They will not say because of COVID, then there'll be a backlog. Yes, there was a backlog because some people opted out of going to uni that year. However, the results were there. It will not be because of results that they will not go. Like in Nigeria, I remember one year, I think that was 1995, when they had that general ASU strike, that they lumped 2 years together. And then instead of people going in 96, everybody now went in 97. So like a class that was supposed to be 300 students were now 600 students. I know that because EPOMA was like that. On that bio.
One reason again is the fact that, like in the part of the world where we come from, we say things as they are, right? But
Yeah.
as a teacher in international schools, you want to say that somebody is like a child is, you have to be careful about the words you use. So you don't want to be telling a child. So you're thinking of adjectives that will describe what you're talking about without really saying what you're saying. I don't know if you understand. So then it's a lot of, you need help
Thinking.
in terms of AI. You need help in sometimes even asking your colleagues, like, how will I describe a child who is just so disruptive in class? Oh, you could say he's energetic, and then you're passing on along your message. So you're saying something without really saying it. Yes. And then since it's data driven, instruction you do, and it's going to be, you can easily sell yourself short, right? Because you're supposed to have been assessing and documenting in the course of your teaching. So, and if you've been doing that, then you have what to talk about. So, but the main thing would be that describing what you want to say without really saying it is the part that makes it, a big deal. And the fact that you have to report for each subject. And then the parents will question, you need to also defend it with the parents as well. So it's a whole lot.
Yeah, it is. Okay, we don't have a lot of time left. And sis,
Yes.
are we saying that skills that one acquires in 2024 cannot come along or come together with skills that one acquired in 2014, 2017, etc.? Should the skills acquired in 2014, 2016, 2017 go into oblivion? It will, because by the time you've put only 2024 skills, you won't have space to put any other thing there. If you've done the required CPDs, and then you've done the subject specific CPDs, and you've done the school specific CPDs, you will not have time or space to put up 2014. See, this year alone, I think I have 22 CPDs. Where will I put it on my CV? If I want to put 2024, 2023, 2022, and then take it down chronologically, there'll be no space. So usually I leave that out. But when it comes to my personal statement, I can then wrap it into the talk and try to find a way, because I've done this course, it prepared me for the role I'm going to take. Your personal statement is personal. That's where you are trying to show off all your feathers. But professional summary and CV, you want it to be straight to the point, concise, and well packaged and put together. Because imagine you want to drink juice, for instance, and they tell you all the ingredients on the juice on top of the label and everything else, and the color and the process they use to construct the juice on the label. When you buy it, it's too much. So they'll just make it one big bold lettering, and then maybe they'll put enriched with extra vitamin C. So you know that, okay, so it's the main things you're putting on your CV to make your CV catch the person. Yeah, okay. Let's
actually
run through. Pardon?
I said a teacher is supposed to be a lifelong learner. If schools and curriculums are being reviewed, there's always a curriculum review cycle. They review their curriculums regularly. They also review policies regularly. And that is why they bring up these trainings for you to educate yourself. So if you're saying that you have 2014 requirements in 2024, then it doesn't really. So do the 2024, let it be on top. 24, 23 is fine. Then
Updated. Exactly.
And this training is also, I
Mhm.
think Oyinye doesn't understand that this training is also expire. For my safeguarding level 1 and 2 I did last year, I had to do another one this year. So for
Yes,
prevent training
safeguarding
I did, I
expires.
think prevent training, I think is for 2 years or 1 year. The one I did 2 years ago, I had to do another one this year, and some other CPDs like that. So
Yeah.
you can't even write because it has expired. So you can't even put 2014 or 2017.
Yeah, it's like taking cough medicine that has expired. You have expired yourself with your CV by putting a 2014 there. Let's run through the next one. This one says, can you explain this for me? I teach primary 1 and I teach 10 subjects in my class. Now, how do I write my CV that I teach 10 subjects? You don't have to write everything on your own about the subjects. Pick out the things. First of all, look at the job description. If the job description talks about
Yeah.
differentiation, they need somebody who will be able to create an inclusive classroom. Look at those 10 subjects and look at how you can make your 10 subjects meet those objectives. And make sure you use a passive voice. This CV, for instance, has areas where it says teaching. Teaching is not passive. It's not passive. It's active. It means you're still doing it. Are you learning, or what are you doing? Taught, achieved, observed, those kind of words. Passive. That's what I will advise people to use. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure that we stay within the time range, because we have people on here who have young children who they have to put to bed. Now, the next one is you are yet to answer my question of having career progression on your CV. Career progression. Why would you want to have? I don't understand. Can you explain career progression? You want to show the person that is employing you that you want to progress. I think that should come into your
That
interview.
you're leaving soon.
I don't get it. I progression in, okay, you want to show how your career has progressed over the years. Yes, that's why your CV is arranged chronologically, because we start from the most recent one and you put as much energy and as much focus into that one that you're doing right now to meet the person's specification for the job that you're applying for.
Yeah.
However, the next ones I will reduce it down to maybe three or four bullet points, so that you've done this, you've done this, you've done this, but this one I'm doing now is what I want you people to look at so that you hire me. That's where I'll put all my energy. Your career progression will come in the fact that 2017 I was this, 2013 I was this, so they can see how you have progressed. I will put it
I
on
think
there.
that's the same as work. I think that should be the same as work experience. So
Exactly. Yeah. It says, please, how can I break it down in my CV that I teach 10 subjects in my class? It's not about the subjects
okay,
you
I think it's the
teach,
same thing.
it's about what you gained, is what you gained from your subject. Did you do assessment? Did you manage your class? Did you evaluate the children with data rich, or did you I don't know how I'm going to explain this, but it's not about you can teach 100 subjects, but if you don't hit those things on the head, you are not an effective teacher. And on your CV, you're trying to put across, I am an effective teacher. If people don't hire me, your school will dive rock, because I'm just the best person for you. So you have to put all those things into your CV, and not the amount. It's not quantity, like Oyin said, it's quality. You want quality on there. Please, how can one include continuous professional development in CVs? Right. This CV, the person has thrown first of all, do you start your CV with your education? No. No. People who start their CVs with education are, so on your CV, just like mommy said at the beginning, you want to start with the most obvious thing. You want to start with, like a peacock. You want to peacock on your CV, I won't pick up with my CV with my ECOMA degree that I got in 2001. I will start with my PhD. I will start with my PhD because that shows that, see, I'm not a first degree person. And I won't even start with my education. I will start with, because the job it's not about the education, it's about the experience. The job description does not talk about, we want someone with PhD, we want someone with this. No, no, no. They want someone who can evaluate, someone who can take care of children, so pastoral care and all those kind of things, safeguarding. So I will put the education down below and start with my most current work experience. Education is for people who do not have work experience, so they want to use that to pick up. But if you have work experience, please put that first, so that education should not even be there in the first place. So, professional development, I will put it with my education, which is down. What do you ladies think?
Yeah, I think I agree with you. That's the trainings, right? That's what this person put as trainings. You put it below your work experience, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maureen is putting picture again. Maureen, we have to jump over here because, sorry, we'll talk about the picture and the bias. That's true. Guys, let's like the video so that YouTube can suggest it to others. Yes, please. What's that? Yes, Miss Happiness, thank you. Please like this video so that we can bring in, so that YouTube suggests it to others and so that other people can watch this video and help themselves with the CVs as well. Thank you so much, Happiness, for doing that. I don't know where the button is that would say I can do this. Can I do that? No, I can't. I did it last week, but I can't do it. Only can do it.
It's not working.
Rajesh Mondal. I don't understand what that. Wow. Are you saying war for us? Yes, please. I take it. You can see me. I turn every.
I want to say, Jay, you should understand. You should understand that you traveled all over the world. You should understand.
So anything you tell me, I'll turn it to a positive. Thank you very much for that. I take it as that you're telling us that we are fantastic and we love you too. Right. We have come to the end of this video. If there's any other thing that we need to add, we will be adding it in the description below. I ran to the end there because I just felt like the CV was first of all, the CV is so long. There were so many more mistakes. There were so many more mistakes.
Guys, before we leave, I think we should just talk about skills. What do you think, Jay and Oyin, what do you think should be in your skills? Because I've seen a lot of skills. So what should you be in your skills? Like at the end, there are skills and all that. Should it be at the end or probably at the top?
The skills should come first and the education should go down. They should swap places. Put the skills up, put the education down, and you're telling me that the kind of juice box that has extra vitamin D enriched with folic acid. Of course, you put the skills. You put the skills up where everybody can see the goodness in the product. And in this case, the teacher is the product that is being sold to the world.
And
someone said,
the skills should be skills that align with your profession, not just your skills. So your teacher role. Think about if you're a primary teacher, maybe you have patience, you're empathic, skills like that. And there are hard skills and there are soft skills as well. So lesson planning could be a skill, curriculum development or whatever. So, but think about it thoroughly. Don't go and put personal care as a skill for a teaching job. Like so that's something.
I think I've seen one CV that the person puts teaching as skill. I was like, but that's teaching. What skill is in teaching?
In terms of personal care, I wanted to say this the other time. If you're applying to, that's why, like Oyin said, which I appreciate a lot, tailor your CV to the description of the job. If you're applying to a send school, you might actually need the personal care in your skills.
Yes,
So if
yes, that
depending
is
on where you're applying to, depending on the job description, depending on the role, just let your CV fit into that job description. That's just it.
yeah. Okay, Abiodun Saliu. I'm going to answer your question because I think you're the one who talked about career progression.
Yeah.
In this case, you are trying to show that you went from a level 8 to a uh, level 17. I'm sure it didn't happen overnight, or else you make the people start thinking, maybe you are not you are not a good teacher. Maybe you have some godfathers in there. The only way for you to show that you went from an education officer level 8 to a directorate cadre level 17 is the different roles that you held in different years in that school or that
Yeah.
place. So
Yeah.
that means you say 2024 level 17, 2023 you were level 16. It is in your work experience that you show your career
Yes.
progression.
Yeah.
So please,
Mhm.
I know you've asked this question and I don't think you've gotten the answer, but I hope that you've gotten the answer now. Eh,
Mm.
in English schools especially, we have something called show not tell.
Tell, yeah.
We teach it to the children when we are teaching them how to write stories. Show me, don't tell me. So show me from the way you arrange your experience that you have progressed in the job. Is that okay,
That's
Abiodun?
That's exactly
Yeah.
how my CV looks actually. So, uh, in 8 years, I could show that I had gone from being a teaching assistant in this, to being a
Mm.
co-teacher in this, and then to being a
Yeah.
this. Like,
Mhm.
so it's
Yeah,
the roles that you played for every single role. Each time you were promoted, what were you
Mm.
promoted? What role were you promoted to? So put
Yeah.
that,
exactly.
let
Mhm.
your whatever your skills there, and
Let
then
it
move on to
show.
the next. Yeah.
Exactly. And when you let it show, don't repeat what you've done before. So if for example, you were marking and evaluating, but this time you are now supervising, you don't need to put all those other things. Remember, you don't want the CV to be too out of the way. You want to put the new skills that you've learned in that new role because each new role comes with a different remit, a different job description. So you put what you achieved in that new job when you went in when they promoted you, for instance, they must have promoted you with a criteria that this is the new thing you're going to be doing. That's what you put in the new job. Don't repeat because you want to fill up your CV. You don't repeat the same things over and over again. On the CV that I gave my WhatsApp group, I sort of wrote from the time I volunteered to when I was a supervisor to when I was a support teacher. And for each role, I tried to put in the job descriptions or what I would expect in each job role. But I don't think I explained it properly. And I hope that with this live, it's a bit clearer now. I'm not saying put all those things on there. I'm saying tailor it to have some buzzwords because there are some really important words that should be on the CV. There should be things that cover safeguarding. There should be things that show that you're a team player. There should be things that you know how to assess. There should be things to show that you know how to evaluate a child's learning and the progression of a child's learning. All those kind of things should come into your CV, and it comes with the different roles that you are able to have in any organization that you work with, tailored to the job description that you are applying for. I don't know if you guys want to add any other thing before we round up today. I know you guys have children that you have to take care of.
There's actually something I want to point out. This CV that is displayed on the screen now, there's an aspect of it I like that I know took me like a while to be able to apply with my teaching CV, and that is quantifying the achievements on the CV. I see
Yes.
how this person is able to use numbers and percentage, to quantify what they accomplished. Because I know with most CVs, what you find is that people just copy the roles that they did and place it there without really saying what they achieved in the course of doing that. Like this person said, audited vendor billing, corrected errors, cured inefficiencies to yield an office saving of 2% in the first
Yes.
6 months. This is
Mm.
very
Very
amazing.
good.
Define your, achievements. But the question now
Achievement.
is, as a teacher, how are you able to do this on your CV? Right? So that's something that would take your CV to the next level and give you an edge compared to what other, because normal CVs would just have um taught and assessed students achievements and all that. So if you have to think of creative ways. If I can find, let me see if I can find, read out one here. um Improve students engagement level by 30% through implementation of interactive and hands-on learning activities.
Yes.
Right, so that's
We
one
didn't
way
even, we
you
didn't
can.
even put that one on the screen. Sorry.
Yeah, so
We
that's
ended up
one
not
way you
putting that one
can,
on the screen.
oversaw the growth and development of 18 children, successfully preparing 90% of them for kindergarten with the necessary cognitive and social skills. See how, instead of just saying oversaw growth and development, we're able to bring in, oh, this is what we did and this is what we achieved in the course of doing it. So people can actually see your achievement in that period of time when you worked with those children. You
Yes.
prepare children for WIEC physics in a school that result has always been bad, and you're able to prepare students for your physics whatever using whichever skill to achieve 80% success in the WIEC result. That's something we should think about, because it will just set you apart from other people in your, I mean, set your CV out from the others, apart from others. Sorry,
Yeah.
English is hard.
I was supposed to put that on the screen, but I was worried about the time. Because there are two CVs, guys, and we've just looked at, it took us this whole hour to look at the first one, but the second one that was constructed is actually the better one. It's not the best, but it's a better one than this one that I've put on the screen. I mean, I tried my best to make sure that this one was just horrible. I tried my best to make sure that this one was as horrible as it could get. But the
So
next one is supposed to be better. So, but yeah.
I think what we can do is, if it's, sorry, I'm used to Google Doc. If it's a Google document, we could share the link to the good CV in the description of the video, right?
But don't you think that we could, that limits, that will limit people to think that this is the way, the truth and the
Exactly.
life. I don't
Sometimes
want them to be
it's
limited.
not, there's really no one perfect thing, but sometimes you want a template. That's why we have a template, right? You want
See,
a template.
someone said, give us the best for guide. I don't think it's a good idea, because if we give you the best, then we are limiting you. Your experience is different from the other person's experience, and if we give you that person's experience, then you would think that that's the only way to write it, instead of thinking, okay, this is a way to write it, I can make mine this way to go with mine.
Okay,
That's what I feel.
another thing I'm thinking about is, how about we do something like, without really writing a CV, you could have a template for CV, say personal statement, and write the likely things they could include here. Achievements, this, tick that off. Then the next experience, you could say list your experiences, quantify them. Something like that, without really writing up a CV, but having like a template to let people know what should be in each section of that CV. I don't know
Like a
if,
checklist.
yes,
Okay.
like a checklist. If
I have a Google Doc that I drew up that I was supposed to share today, but I can share that as well.
Yeah, I
I
think
can
that would
share
make
that as
sense.
well.
I
Yeah.
just feel like people should have a template to work with. Maybe not necessarily a CV, because I get the point you're making. Some people might
Yeah.
feel they need to, their CV needs to sound and look like, is like this particular, this the one you shared with them. Meanwhile,
Yeah.
everyone has different experiences, so it's always okay to,
Mm.
you know
Yeah.
it was based on your experience. But I would say, for me, in summary, in my own last words, sorry, I'm jumping faster than myself.
No, no, no. I was about to round up actually.
I believe that, for my own advice is, if you have the dream of teaching internationally, even if it's not yet making sense, just keep holding on to your dream, getting all the necessary things you need to get in check. And when it comes to writing your CV, know that your CV is what stands for you when you're not there to speak for yourself. So you should be able to pour your heart into that CV, right? Don't just be in a hurry to type in things in ChatGPT and then just pick out whatever. Think about your experiences, what really resonates with you compared to for the roles you're applying for. How does your values and your philosophy as a teacher apply? I mean, you don't have to apply to every school. Just the way schools reject teachers, you as a teacher should be able to also reject certain schools when you feel
Yeah.
like whatever it is, values or whatever they have, doesn't align with what you believe in. So sit down, think about yourself as a teacher, think about your experiences, write them down. What have I been able to accomplish? Because sometimes we do a lot that we don't really put down that we've done, right?
Yeah.
So think about your experiences, put it down, take time to do that, gather all that information, then before you go ahead to start putting up the CV. And when you do and you send it out and you get feedback, don't give up or feel bad about it. It's a learning process. We're all learning, right? Just
Yeah.
like mommy said, that we talked about it and realized that we still have things we need to also adjust in ours. Is there's always room to learn. Have a growth mindset, an open mind, keep pushing and keep making all the necessary changes. Always go back to the drawing board. That's reflection. As a teacher, you should always reflect as well. Go back to the drawing board,
Exactly.
see areas you need to adjust, and never give up on your dreams.
Thank you so much. Mommy, do you have your final words before we round up today's session?
Yes, yes. So I would say that my final words are just like Onya said. She has said everything in my mind, but I would say do not lie on your CV. While trying to tailor your CV to fit into whatever job description you want it to, do not lie on your CV trying to package the work experience. If you have a career break, it is fine. There are gaps in work experience gap. Yeah, so it is fine. Just tailor it to what to the work description, but don't try adding where you have not worked. I've seen CVs like that, whereby later you see that they didn't actually work in those particular areas. So don't try lying on your CV just to get a particular job. So just there's room for improvement, like Onya said. Let's try and work on ourselves. Let's try and learn more. Let's try and do more for ourselves. And yes, things will get better.
Fantastic. So thank you so much for joining us this evening. If there are any other questions, please just drop it in the comment section below. And like we did with the last live, we will always come on there and answer the questions. Thank you so much and have a wonderful evening. We shall send out the
Bye.
flyers for the next live next week, Sunday, same time, as soon as we finish this one. Thank you and have a wonderful evening
Bye.
and a beautiful week ahead.
See you
Bye,
next week.
guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.